What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I just want to do a real quick video all about my last tournament, which was on Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma. Lake Eufaula is a pretty cool lake. I think we were the first major tournament trail to ever have a tournament on that lake, so that was pretty cool. It was kind of a new lake to everyone in the field. I don't think very many of the guys in the field had ever been there before, so that's always cool going into a lake like that. But unfortunately for me, it was another tough tournament. That's 3 tough tournaments in a row for me. And like I said, it was just somewhat of a frustrating tournament. And before I get into the breakdown, I just want to say, you know, there's nothing that I can blame me not doing good on but myself. You know, I love my nitro boat, my 250 Mercury Pro XS. I've never had an issue with that. To me, I'm running the best electronic setup I have in my entire life. And like I said, I am very fortunate to have tremendous sponsorship support. I'm extremely grateful for all my sponsors. I couldn't do it without them. And just it comes down to myself. Just I'm not fishing good. I'm not making the right adjustments throughout the tournament to put together a good tournament. And like I said, that's the frustrating part. But to get into the breakdown of Lake Eufaula, I know it sounds repetitive, but I had another really good practice. I felt extremely confident going into the tournament. And when I got there in practice, it was the perfect pre-spawn setup. They had been dropped in the water. They were on a warming trend for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. But they were slowly dropping the water before we got there, and even the first 2 days of practice, they dropped the water even a little bit more. So those fish were all ganged up, you know, pushed back in those staging areas. So those steeper banks, channel swing banks, and they were those last stops that they were in, those last places, those last stops that they're going to make before they push back or push up to spawn. So I had a really good practice. I got on a deal throwing a square bill, 1.5, Strike King 1.5 square bill. And like I said, I felt very confident going into the tournament. But unfortunately, on our off day, the day before the tournament, the water kind of stabilized. They didn't drop it. It got really warm that day, and I really think a lot of those fish pushed up and started, you know, making beds or even started spawning. So unfortunately in the tournament, that cranking bite kind of died, and the sad part is honestly I completely saw that coming. I knew with the water stabilizing and those days getting really warm that, you know, kind of my pattern, how I was catching them was gonna somewhat go away. But I just could not figure out in the tournament where those fish went or how to catch those fish after they left those areas. So that was the frustrating part. It wasn't like I felt like I didn't have a good gauge on what the fish were doing. It was just that I couldn't figure out how to catch those fish once they left those staging areas. I tried slowing down. I tried going to the backs of pockets. I tried skipping boat docks. I tried, you know, looking for spawners, and it didn't seem to work out for me. So that's the frustrating part. But yeah, fingers crossed for the next tournament. I'm leaving here in a couple days to go to Lake of the Ozarks. So it'd be nice to get a good tournament under my belt, get kind of the wheels back under the bus, get a solid finish, and get some confidence back. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for following along, and like I said, fingers crossed for the next one.